This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today's video is another one of these in the series that I've been doing recently about what options are available if you are in the market for a particular type of guitar. So far we've looked at Les Pauls, Telecasters, Stratocasters, 335s, Les Paul Juniors and Flying Vs. And this week it's the turn of the Superstrat. So if you're after a little bit of time travel back to the 1980s and you don't have a DeLorean, then maybe one of these guitars will get you there. Okay, then starting off with the cheapest one in the lineup. Surprise, surprise, it's a Harley Benton, the S620 TR Rock Series. 143 quid will get you one of these, and what are you getting for your money? You are getting a basswood body with a carved top, bolt-on maple neck, modern C neck profile. The fretboard is roseacre, I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, as you can see there, it's thermally treated maple. Now I've got that same fretboard material on my Harley Benton CST24, and you just wouldn't know that it wasn't rosewood. Frankly, you can't tell by looking, and it doesn't feel any different. It's, you know, it gets the job done. White binding on the neck, 24 frets, standard Fender, scale length 648mm, that's 25.5 inches in old money, and dual action truss rod, 2 high gain humbuckers. That means they're probably going to be ceramic, but you know what, ceramic humbuckers on a guitar of this nature that's going to be all about squealy, high-pitched, pinched harmonics and dive bombs, you know, it's perfectly in keeping with it. It's a good looking guitar, it has to be said as well. I mean, yes, obviously you get the rather basic 4 bolts and a plate neck joint there, no concession to upper fret access, but that was the case in the 80s with a lot of guitars like this, really, wasn't it? Let's have a few more pictures. There's that neck joint again in close-up, and headstock has a little bit of the Ibanez vibe going on, I would say, and there it is again from the back. As I say, good looking guitar, and you know, it looks a lot more than 143 quid's worth of instrument there. The trem you get on this is a licensed Floyd Rose. If you just take a close-up look at it, you can see, if I zoom in and have a look at it there, Harley Benton by Floyd Rose. So, you know, it's a Floyd style tremolo. It's a licensed one, essentially. So that is the cheapest guitar in the lineup. Let's imagine you've got a little bit more money to spend though. About double that, £298 will get you the Jackson JS32Q Dinky. Let's have a quick look at it. If there was one name in the 80s that was, alongside Ibanez, synonymous with this style of guitar, it had to be, I guess, Jackson. And yeah, again, good looking guitar. I like that top on there. Again, it's very 80s looking, isn't it? So you get a poplar body here with a maple arched top on it. I'm not sure if that's just going to be, I imagine it will be just a veneer on top of a rather more plain looking piece of maple. Bolt on neck, maple with graphite reinforcement and scarf joint. Aramanth fretboard, I'm sure somebody will tell me what that is, but essentially it's a dark coloured wood that is one of these multiple types of wood that came in over the past few years when you know, rosewood was subject to CITES. Interestingly enough, on a £300 guitar, you are getting a compound radius fretboard. Now, I've said before that having played guitars with compound radius fretboards, I've struggled to notice any difference, but if it is, you know, something that might swing it for you, if that's something that's on your shopping list, then, you know, this might be a good price to get such a, what is usually regarded as a high-end feature at. 24 frets, 2 high output Jackson humbuckers, single volume, single tone, Jackson branded double locking licensed Floyd Rose tremolo. So there you have it. That is the Jackson Dinky. Again, it's a 300 quid guitar, but I mean, looking at it, it looks like a lot more than 300 quid's worth of guitar, frankly, to my eyes anyway. Okay, so let's move on to the ESP LTD SN-200 FR Maple BCMS. It fairly trips off the tongue, doesn't it? Once again, we get a body this time made of basswood, maple neck, a thin U-shaped neck, so very much a shredder's kind of neck here. Pickups, ESP designed pickups. It's a HSS layout and 5-way switch. Tremolo LTD by Floyd Rose. Let's take a closer look at this guitar. Let's have some close-up shots. Here we go. What I like about this is that it maintains that sort of Stratier kind of look. You know, I mean, let's not forget that the Superstrat as a genre of guitar was born out of people hot rodding Fender Stratocasters. And then companies like Jackson and whoever else got on board and started making production guitars like that. But, you know, this whole idea of bolting a Floyd Rose and a humbucker in the bridge of a regular Fender Stratocaster guitar was how this style of instrument kind of really began. And this maintains that sort of hot-rodded Fender look. I mean, it doesn't look like a Fender, you can tell it's not a Fender, but it has that sort of vibe about it. So if that's the kind of thing that you're looking for aesthetically, then this might be one for you. So let's take a look at this one now. This is the Schecter Banshee 6 FR Extreme BCHB, and very much a high-end looking guitar. This is £539, but dearie me, look at that. That looks like it could easily cost well into 4 figures, doesn't it? Look at that top on there, beautiful bit of maple there. The fretboard inlays are interesting. Let's see if we can get a close-up of those somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of got like sort of a PRS vibe going on. I mean, half close your eyes, those could be kind of birds, couldn't they? But it's going for that sort of aesthetic, you know, maybe it looks kind of like a cross between something like Ibanez might make and a PRS of some description. Once again, let's have a look at the specs. Mahogany body this time with a quilted maple top. Maple neck, rosewood fretboard. Again, ultra thin neck, so it's a very kind of shred-tastic guitar. And what else? Let's have a look at the pickups. Schecter Diamond Plus in the bridge and Schecter Diamond single coils middle and neck. Again, we have no information beyond that as to what the magnets are or, you know, anything like that. But, you know, you look at a guitar like this and you're not expecting warm vintage you know, kind of 60s Strat tones and late 50s Les Paul tones. This is a guitar that's going to howl like a banshee who stood on a drawing pin. So let's take a look at the final one in the lineup. This is one that has a special place in my heart because I used to own one of these, the Fender HM Strat. I had one of the original ones back in 1989, and it was the first genuine real pucker 100% kosher Fender that I ever owned. So it has a special place in my memory because of that reason. Let's take a close-up look at it. Mine was actually in this rather 80s pink colour, it has to be said as well, although mine had a rosewood fretboard. There we go, there's the back view, and like my old original there, you get the slightly improved top fret access there, and it says in the listing for this guitar that it's got 22 frets, but let's count them. We know that's 12, 15, 17, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. So the listing is wrong. These guitars have 24 frets. Let's have a look and see what other specs we get. An older body, bolt-on maple neck, narrow C neck profile. I remember mine being quite almost like a classical guitar with a very sort of flat back and flat radius. 22 jumbo frets? No, it's not. It's 24. This one, interestingly enough, it's the only Fender in the lineup, and it's the only one that doesn't have a standard Fender scale length. This is 25.12 inches. All the rest are 25.5 inches. So as you can see, they're nice. Very, very flat neck fretboard profile there, 17 inches. The difference between this one and the one that I had back in the late 80s is that the trem on this is a Floyd Rose. Back on the one that I had, it was a Carla Spider trem. And the other difference are the pickups. I distinctly remember mine had DiMarzio branded pickups in it, and these are just again whatever pickups Fender have wound for this model of the guitar. It's the most expensive guitar in the lineup, but it is a limited edition, and you know, the originals of these from back in the late 80s are quite sought after. So if you're thinking more along the terms of, you know, investment opportunities for a guitar, you know, you can never really guarantee anything, but you know, it might be worthwhile thinking along those lines if you're thinking of shelling out this kind of money for a guitar. If you're looking to spend about £1,000, you might as well get one that's a limited edition, basically, because that way you have a better chance of, you know, kind of it appreciating. So there you go. Those are the guitars in today's Superstrat lineup. So there you have it. Those are just a few, just a fraction of the options that are available if this is the style of guitar that you're looking for. These are just the ones that appealed to me for whatever reason as I was scrolling through websites and so on. These are just the guitars that made me think, oh, okay, that's worth a second look. So if you have any suggestions of your own, please feel free, as I'm sure you will, to leave them in the comments section. So what would be my choice out of that lineup? Well, I'm tempted to say none of the above, because that style of guitar isn't really my cup of tea these days. I've never really been a big fan of locking tremolos, for instance. But let's imagine I was in a covers band and there were a couple of songs in the set where I needed that style of guitar, you know, maybe because I needed the sort of dive-bombing Floyd Rose kind of thing on a couple of tunes. The nostalgic part of me is saying the Fender Heavy Metal Strat, but it's very expensive, and I think it's very expensive for what it is, the more I think about it. You know, it's over £1,000, and, you know, you're not getting the DiMarzio pickups that were in the original one that I had back in the 80s, and you're getting the Floyd Rose Special trem, which isn't, you know, kind of the proper full-on original Floyd Rose. I'm sure it's still fine, I'm sure it still works, but, you know, on a guitar that costs that much, a 4-figure price tag, I kind of expect, you know, the money to have been spent a little bit more on the hardware. It is a limited edition, however, as I said, so that might have some impact on its resale value in years to come, so that might be a consideration. But if you're just looking for, if I was just looking for a musical instrument to use as a musician's tool, then, you know, I would go for the Harley Benton. You know, it's, I'm sure the pickups could do with an upgrade, but, you know, there's plenty of good quality aftermarket pickups out there for not a lot of money. I mean, Wilkinson, Vanson, Iron Gear, all of those kind of brands make fantastic pickups that don't cost a fortune. And as I say, it wouldn't be my main instrument, so it wouldn't be, you know, kind of something that would be the centerpiece of my style of playing or what I use on an everyday basis. It wouldn't be my daily driver, put it that way. So it would fulfill the needs and it would get the job done. So that would be my choice. So there you have it, folks. There are my choices for, you know, the 80s shred machine Superstrat style guitar if you're looking for a little bit of a nostalgic nod back to that decade. Let me know what you think, and that's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If if you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not give me a like while you're at it. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, all of the links are downstairs in the description box. Check them out. You can enroll on a course, you can buy some of my wife's fantastic handmade genuine gemstone jewellery, or you can buy a Fret Zealot using this discount code that you can see on screen right now. Loads of ways you can support the channel, and thank you in advance if you're considering doing so. Much appreciated. And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.